Topic Tuesday. It was Trivia Tuesday. And so I wanted to take today to pose a few challenging trivia questions, and then you can look back. They had the answers the next day. The abdominal aorta begins at the level of the, and do we have anybody with us today, Josh, to answer any questions?
We have Tom with us so far. Tom the Wetner.
Tom, do you know the answer?
There's going to be a lag. Don't forget there's a bit of a
Okay.
lag. Yep.
I don't know if I know the answer to this or not.
My rudimentary understanding says it's at the end of the arch.
Okay, I thought it was lower than that.
I thought the beginning of the descending was after the arch, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think you're right. Like, even though it's actually in your chest, I think you're right. But I'm sorry. What two branches does the abdominal aorta split into? And that's the iliac.
The iliacs.
Right?
That's what I think
Yeah.
too, right?
Yep. What branch of the aorta supplies the diaphragm? Aorta supplies the diaphragm muscle? No idea.
Yeah, I remember him explaining this thing to us last week.
Yeah. I thought the answers were here, but they're not. What are the three major branches of celiac trunk? I didn't even know I had one of those. I should.
I bet you that's the celiac thing that runs the diaphragm muscle.
Yeah. The name of the arteries that supply the kidneys, I have no idea, but I know they check it every time I have a CT scan. How many pairs of lumbar arteries are there usually? Lumbar would be your back, and I think there's two.
Right.
What artery supplies the rectum? I don't know. Dilations of the artery, the aorta, are called aneurysms. That has to be the answer. Is an aneurysm the same thing as a dissection? No, a dissection is when two of the layers pull away from the inside. And what organ does the left gastric artery supply? No idea. So I thought the answers were on here when I looked at this earlier.
Tab.
The next tab?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go. No, this is first Tim.
Oh no.
You have the answers. The abdominal aorta begins at the level of the
diaphragm.
Well, okay. So
why did we think that it was just talking about descending, even though the word says abdominal?
I don't know. Like, I know that it's higher up than what you think, but so I guess like right there at the very bottom of your sternum.
I mean, the diaphragm, it floats up and in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What two branches does the abdominal aorta split into? Were we right with iliac?
Common iliac arteries, correct.
Okay. And then in our community, you will hear people say, I am dissected through my iliac, dissected through the right iliac or both iliacs, which means down both legs. And that is why one of the symptoms is loss of feeling in the back of your legs. And that is one of the ones that I did have. And that's when my family said, what I had thought was food stuck in my throat. When I lost the feeling in the back of my legs, that's when the two paramedics that I had with me said, we're calling the ambulance. We've already called the ambulance. What branch of the aorta supplies the diaphragm muscle? I have no idea.
The inferior phrenic.
Say it again.
The inferior phrenic.
Huh. Interesting.
That's what I said.
Oh, see, and this is what I mean about, like, it's one of the things that one of our missions is to help people understand, even to be able to read your like CT scans. Like that term might be in there, and I've probably just skipped over it and didn't know what it meant. But what are the three major branches of the celiac trunk?
The left gastric, the common hepatic, and the splenic.
Okay. I don't think I've ever, I don't, I don't think I've seen that in any of my reports. What is the name of the arteries that supply the kidneys?
The renal arteries.
We probably could have come up with that.
Right?
That makes sense. Why didn't I come up with that? And I do see that in my reports. I can't tell you what it says, but what they write means that when I read it, I understand that it means that I have good blood flow. But I have seen that, because that is one of the things that they check whenever you have a CT scan is, do you have blood flow to your kidneys? How many pairs of lumbar arteries are there usually?
4 pairs.
Really?
Yep.
You know, and that must be, when it says usually, it must be one of those things that it can differ from person to person. And I have read, because I had just had this, basically what I had was the carotid bypass. And they were explaining to me that sometimes where your carotid artery comes off can be in different places. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. So that must be where it says it usually. What artery supplies the rectum? I'm not sure why I would need to know this, but
the inferior mesenteric artery.
Okay, I guess if that is compromised, that could be an issue.
Exactly.
Exactly. Dilations of the aorta are called aneurysms. Please tell me
You're
I got
correct.
this one right. I'm going to have to turn in my board card if I didn't get that one correct. Is an aneurysm the same thing as a dissection? And I said no.
No. So aneurysms are enlargement of the aorta, and dissections are tears within the intimal layer of the aorta.
Intimal, yes, those layers. And what organ does the left gastric artery supply? So you just told us this up top, right?
Well, it supplies the stomach.
Okay, we should have guessed that with gastric.
Yep.
But you know, that could have really been to the spleen. It could have, because all that is gastric. What's that thing that most people have taken out?
The gallbladder.
Gallbladder.
Yeah.
Gallbladder.
I had mine taken out.
Yeah. But this is just so important, because this is how you learn the terminology, so that you can talk to the doctors. I know the first time I said to my doctor, quite often, almost every time I go for a CT scan, my doctor doesn't see me in an exam room. He calls me back to his office, and we sit in front of computers, and he brings up all of the CT that I just had, and we talk about it. And I remember saying things like, well, is this the false lumen? And when I understood enough to ask questions, he talked to me differently. And I got a little bit, like, each time I go, I learn a little bit more. And that just is empowering, because you feel like you're when this first happens to you, you feel like you're just getting hit by wave after wave after wave, and you just stand up again and you get hit with another wave. And people are talking about things that don't make sense to you. You don't know what happened to you. But once you get your feet on the ground and you can understand what happened to you, and moving forward, as you need to make decisions about your health care, it really helps if you have some of these terminology down. It's made a huge difference for me. So, and I did, so I just had my last, I got to look at the name of it, but there's a study going on right now. Let's see if I can pull it up. You might know what it is, Josh. It's the glue that's being used for smaller aneurysms, and the company starts with an M. Let me see.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. Karen sent it to me. Okay, so Karen on the board, our fearless leader, she knew that I had an aneurysm that needs to be repaired. And she said, oh, you really need to ask about this. Let me see, I'm going to find it, because this information might help somebody. I can't find it, darn it. Anyway, if anybody out there wants this information after I tell you about it, you are more than welcome Nectaro. I thought it was starting with an M. Nectaro is a medical company that has developed, the only way I can explain it is it's a type of glue. And this is being used, this glue is being used for people on a trial basis. And there's like 25 hospitals around the country that are doing it right now on a trial basis, only being used on small to mid-size abdominal aneurysms, which is what I have. I have a small abdominal aneurysm that I'm going to need to have repaired. And I went last Monday for my CT scan, and I said, am I a candidate? My doctor, my vascular doctor, Dr. Tor, said that he did not feel comfortable doing that with me, only because I had so much other things going on. He said if I was a run-of-the-mill person that came in with their first aneurysm, small abdominal aneurysm, didn't have anything, any of the other stuff that I've had done, he would feel very comfortable doing it. But this this glue is the term I'm going to use, is put inside of the aneurysm to stop the aneurysm from ever growing again. And the advantage of that is when they place a stent, which is what I am going to have, and I do have in my, well, now we know that it is thoracic. I do have a stent in my thoracic from the arch all the way down. The problem with the stents is you can get what's called an endo leak, because it's basically like chicken wire with this material around the chicken wire, and the blood flow, instead of the aneurysm getting bigger, the blood flow goes through that that stent. But those stents can have leaks. And in all honesty, I have not asked what happens if you get a leak. I don't know if they have to take the whole thing out and start over again. I don't know if they just repair the leak, but I know endo leaks are not good. And I thought, well, if I could avoid that, I would. But in my case, it was not a good call. But if anybody that's watching this, if you do have the opportunity, if you are told that you have a small or mid-sized abdominal aneurysm, it's well worth talking to your doctor about the Nectaro trial that's happening right now. So hopefully that information helps somebody. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then share it for anybody that's looking for information. And I am back next week also, so I will be here next Monday, and I will see you then. So thanks, everybody. Bye.